Today we're going to take a look at my mental health. I'm going to show you one of the resources that I use for my mental health and personal growth journey, which is my therapy log dashboard in Notion. Hi, if we haven't met yet, I'm Bridget, she, her, systems and self-care witch. I'm a Notion consultant and I build intentional systems for neurodivergent creatives who want to feel proud, successful, and get shit done. Thank you for being here, and thanks for subscribing to my channel and supporting my small business. Let's get into it. My mental health is by far one of the most important aspects of my life, and I've been focusing heavily on it since around 2017, but especially since 2020. And one of my biggest resources for this has been through mental health therapy. I found a really great therapist, which was a long road and not easy to find, but it's made all the difference for me having someone I feel comfortable being around and interacting with in this capacity. I knew I needed a supplementary resource to go along with my therapy sessions, and after not having the best of luck keeping records in a physical written notebook, that's when I created this digital log within Notion. It makes so much sense for my brain. It's super easy to search through past entries, to be able to mention and reference my appointment notes in other places in my Notion workspace, and for me to actually take action and make lasting change in my life. So here's my personal therapy log dashboard. It's pretty simple, no fluffs or frills, pretty straight to the point, which is helpful for my brain in this capacity. It is very specific or niche, if you will, as far as a dashboard goes for me. And I really only go here for a singular purpose, to keep track of what I'm working on in my mental health therapy. If you've seen any of my other dashboards, like my daily dashboard, you've seen all the visuals and digital spells I like to decorate my space with. But I see this therapy dashboard very differently in my brain, and I just need it to be simple and straightforward. This dashboard lives within my journal, which I'll open as another page here. This is just a database where I like to keep all sorts of things like course notes, personal one-on-one session notes, my private journal entries. And when I created this therapy log back in 2021, this felt like a really great place to keep all of my notes and insights and things to work on from my therapy appointment. So that's where I put it. These properties up here at the top of the page have more to do with organizing the things inside of my journal and less to do with this actual dashboard. So that's basically just for my personal organization in my journal. I did name this Chelsea Therapy Log when I first created it because that's my therapist's name. But if I were creating it now, I probably would just call it Therapy Dash or My Therapy Dash, Bridget's Therapy Dash. I have seen other therapists during this time, and so it is definitely my therapy log. But I know that I could rename it anytime, but my brain is just used to seeing it like this, and I don't want to change it. I use the tulip emoji in my whole Notion workspace for anything that has to do with therapy. And so that's why I chose this cover image to match. And using a specific emoji helps my brain to be able to recognize any therapy related things inside my workspace at a quick glance. If you want to see how I use emojis in Notion to help keep my neurodivergent brain organized and focused, you can go check out my full-length video on that for a deeper dive. All right, into the dash itself. I like to set myself up for success within the container I'm in. So when I'm here in my therapy container, I want to make sure that anything regarding therapy or mental health is at my fingertips. So I don't have to go searching other places and getting lost or distracted. Having everything I need right here helps me to stay on task and focused. So that's why I have a little toggle here that includes a filtered view of my second brain database. and it's filtered to show me anything that has to do with my mental health tag. I put this here for easy access so I can either add things to it or refer to any of the resources while I'm inside my therapy container. And I do have a full video going over how I use my second brain in Notion, which is just a cute little fancy name for my resource library. So you can check that out here to see how I use that. Next up, I've got a couple other links here to additional dashboards in my workspace that are relevant to things we sometimes discuss in therapy, like my goals. So it's nice to have these links to them here for easy access as well. And a lot of these dashboards I'm mentioning are available as templates in my shop. So go check that out if you're interested in utilizing them in your own Notion workspace. I also make custom dashboards, so if you have other ideas or want a custom version of a template, I would be delighted to build that for you. Just reach out on my website and let's chat about making your Notion dreams a reality. Next, we're on to the parking lot, which is one of my favorite sections on the dashboard. I like the name, I think it's fun. And this section here is essentially like a mini inbox, specifically for things that I want to talk with my therapist about. So this is for anything that comes up during the week in between appointments. I put it here usually in a toggle with the date that I recorded it, a short description, and then I'll put any additional details inside of the toggle. This way I don't forget anything, and it makes it easier for my brain to recall specific details when I'm in my appointment. This is especially helpful because I deal with a lot of anxiety, and expressing myself verbally becomes tough in those moments. So by having these notes in front of me, it enables me to just be able to read the notes and not have to try to remember details or figure out how to articulate what I want to say. And then once we talk about it, I can easily drag the toggle or the bullet point down inside of the notes for that appointment. Next up is my homework section. So if there's a particular action step or something for me to work on in between sessions, I'll list it here along with usually the link to the appointment notes or anything else that's relevant. A lot of what I work on is ongoing work, so it doesn't get checked off quickly. So by having the link to the appointment handy, I can go back in and review any of the details. And with this homework section, I also will add a page inside of my inbox. And my inbox is a database that lives on my daily dashboard. You can check out more on how I use my inbox in this video I'll link here. And by putting things in my inbox right here, that enables me to actually remember to take action on these things. The next section is a little work in progress that I started when I did hypnotherapy this past fall. I thought it'd be a good idea to round up all of the positive beliefs that I've worked on and to have them here all in one place. This is something I'm still chipping away at and can add to over time. And this is also a really big part of EMDR therapy, which is what I've been doing over the past 4.5 years to reprocess traumas with my current therapist. It has been completely life-changing, and I highly recommend checking it out. You can learn more at emdr.com and find a certified EMDR therapist at emdria.org, and I will list both of those links in the description if you want to check them out. Okay, and then here is where the magic happens. My therapy notes database, which I have named Chelsea Appointments Log. I have a template set up in here that we can take a look at. And this makes it really easy for me to open a new page at my visit. It fills in my tulip emoji. It also fills in the name. And I have this database filtered to show me anything within the past year. So it'll also automatically fill in the date property for me on that date that I make a new page. And then what I like to do is just go ahead and copy the date and paste it into the name. I also have this other text property that is called intention or takeaways, And this is so I can see at a glance what we talked about in the session and what we worked on. And then I also have all of these columns really skinny like this, so that it's optimized for me to use it on my phone, since that's what I have with me on my in-person appointments. I also don't take notes or make a new page for every session necessarily. It just kind of depends on what we're talking about or working on. Sometimes for an EMDR target, I might use the same page for multiple sessions, so all of my notes are in one place. And if I do that, I'll show you an example here of what that might look like. I would copy the date, paste it on here, and then I like to make a nice big heading for today's date, put all the notes in here, and then if I was going to use this page for another session, I would do the same thing once I got to whatever that date was. So let's say next Thursday, and then any of those notes would go there. And then I would just update this date to include all of the dates like that. And then I would have all of my notes and anything else inside this page. I also have this dashboard saved as one of my favorites, so it shows up in my main sidebar here for easy access, since it is one of my most used pages. And that's how I use my therapy dashboard in Notion. I would love to hear how you keep up with your mental health and personal growth journey. Let me know in the comments. And again, I've got a bunch of great templates available in my shop, which is linked below. It would be my absolute delight to build you a custom dashboard. Just reach out on my website and let's chat about making your Notion dreams come true. Thank you so much for being here and for subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in the next one.